Hello everyone and welcome to another I Pick My Butt video. MoreSurvivor.io and chapter 66 has been completed. First run going in on it here, and I've had a lot of people ask, Pick, we need more void power videos. So here we are. I finally got a second one, which allowed me to go and take it up to the epic rarity, and I use a bunch of other gear to get it to at least epic +3. So we're not too far off from where we were with the light chaser. 25,972 damage, and we're over 100,000 for our HP on it. Now, it did take me a little bit to get used to this because I haven't really used the void power too much, because it's been sitting at excellent and it just really didn't compare to a legendary. But now that we have it at epic, it's definitely worthwhile for me to use. Now, I did try to also go in on Ender's Echo with it, but unfortunately I didn't get it leveled up or evoed at all, so I didn't really get good results from it. But really still want to try to see how this thing works in that actual Ender's Echo with it at Evo, and hopefully I can get it quickly to really get some good numbers. I mean, the numbers weren't bad, but they weren't top tier, and they weren't my best numbers that I've seen so far. So obviously the other gear we're going in with here, as you can see, we do have the Trendy Charm, try to get these things to fire off a little more. We are going in with the Eternal Gloves because that's some extra attack there, and I'll take some crit out of it too. Eternal Suit, if you saw my video yesterday or the one before, I'm using this over the actual Windbreaker there. Now, I will say, I did have somebody comment and say, with the Windbreaker, because they don't have their Eternal Suit at Legendary yet, they are able to get 4 revives out of it, or 4 lives, let's just call it. I forgot to put that in the video there the other day because I wasn't really thinking about, not having the Legendary, but might not be a bad idea to use it if you want to use it to try to go and see, because it could be technically, call it an extra revive when the Berserk kicks in. And then we are using the Stylish Belt because we still don't have an Eternal Belt, and obviously Eternal Boots too. Now for the tech parts, going for pretty much the highest ones that I can, minus the fact of I don't want to use the Boomerang at all because Boomerang is still garbage. But you can see we are using the Drill, the Drones, the Lightning Emitter, Guardian, Rockets, and Bricks. And I really haven't been grabbing the Bricks too much, but it just seems like a good alternative there. Might need to switch it, maybe something else, but not really best picks for the defensive items on it. Now, we also got a little teaser today on Facebook of what's coming in for the spring event, as they're calling it. And I am kind of wondering on this because it does show an actual Stylish Belt in its excellent form getting pulled from this. You'll see it right here for a quick second. So I wonder if that's something we'll be able to get. Plus, it shows a lot of gems too. But once again, this could just be an ad to get you to download because it looks like one. So it'd be nice to get that good amount of gems. It'd be nice to get some excellent gear out of this. Guess we'll have to wait and see. But it does say it's officially live, but we won't be seeing this till about the 19th. So don't be like me and keep on trying to look for updates and everything else. We won't see it for a little bit. Supposedly the 19th is what I've been told. But you can see as far as this game goes, we're not really struggling too much on it. Kind of just started running around, and then eventually I said, you know what, let me go a little bit slower on this, kind of stay in the bubbles on it. It seems to clump up pretty nice with all the biofuel just kind of right there to grab. And for the most part, first 5 minutes was just a lot of farming and going through. Now, I am going to make this a nice, good rambling video here because why not? Might as well tell you a little bit of a life of I Pick My Butt. But before I got sick there and had that, that cold with the letter C, I went to a local grocery store and we have a handicap pass for my mother-in-law. I do not choose to use it if she is not with me, so I park in a normal spot, but I had to go grab some stuff from the pharmacy in our local store there, and it's a pretty big one. It's called Wegmans. They're all around the place, but they're pretty popular up here in the New York region. But at any rate, I parked next to a handicap spot. Didn't park in it, and went in, got the pharmacy stuff, came out, and I see this truck parked behind me. So I come out and I'm just like, kind of get the guy's attention and said, hey, I'm going to be backing out, so if you can move. And the guy tells me, you can't park there. I go, sure I can. He goes, no, you can't. I go, why can't I? He goes, because it's handicapped. I go, it's not handicapped. The one next to it's handicapped. I look underneath. There's no little handicap symbol on it. So I said to the guy, I go, there's no handicap, but if you want, I have a handicap pass. I'll show it to you if you want. He goes, yeah, show me the handicap pass. So I show him the handicap pass, and then he goes, well, you got to have that on the actual rear view mirror. I go, if I'm parked in a handicap spot. So then he goes and says, you can't park there. There's stripes right there. Like, I don't know if you guys ever noticed before that usually next to a handicap spot, they might put stripes. Don't know. That's what they do up here in order to, if somebody needed to, get out and they needed room, well, there's room next to it. Well, the way it went from the store is you had the store, where the driving goes, then there was a handicap, striped spot, and then handicap. So somebody pretty much could back in if needed, or if one of the vans had like a wheelchair ramp or stuff, it would be, closer to the store. But where I was parked right next to it, there was no stripes. So the guy says, you know what? Have a happy New Year's. This is right around that time. I said, you have a happy New Year's too. He goes and pulls away. I back out. I wait for him. He comes back around and I go, look at, no stripes. And he goes, so who was right here? And I go, I was. He goes, I don't think so. And I'm just like, this guy's crazy. I didn't know what was up with him, but that was pretty much my main thing that left me just confused. Like, what the heck just happened? Is this guy like dementia and losing it? But it was a very weird situation. So figure I just share that with you because that was just a weird day for I Pick My Butt. But going in here, we have the crystal worm now. And you can see this is not a worm. This is more like a hermit crab, if anything. But it did seem to be pretty tanky. As I said, not really using the void power that much. But it just seemed like for the amount of damage I'm doing, this one did take a while to drop. But it wasn't anything difficult. I usually gauge that first boss as, man, this should be pretty easy. Now, I will say, by the time we got to the final boss did seem to be pretty easy to get by. So it wasn't anything really to stress about. Now, on top of the poison here, there will be a point where it kind of shoots out those crystal shards. Unfortunately, not deflecting them with the actual void power here makes me kind of wish I had the light chaser. I can't help it. I really do love the light chaser. Wasn't the craziest about it at first. Yeah, I did like it, but I was big on the kunai. But really, light chaser, that's what I'm all about. I think I'm going to be sticking with it, but we will still try to bring in more of these void power ones. Plus, as you hear me rambling right now, I had a lot of people say, Pick, we like the rambling videos, give us some more. So hence, this is why we are rambling on today. Now, I think as far as the next event coming up, and when I say event, I mean the Void Waker supply crate. This one ends in 16 hours from me actually making and recording this video. But I think we're going to be getting the Void Waker emblem. And from what I've been told and seen on the Chinese Discord server, is that whole berserk thing you get there for this one is not the same berserk as the actual chest piece. They don't seem to work hand in hand. It's not like you're going to be procking it there with one and the other. But just to let you know, they seem to be totally different. So don't just think berserk, it's the same exact thing. I don't have this thing yet. I don't think I'm going to go and spend, another $50, $70 trying to get this thing. Might just let it come to me on my own. But it does seem kind of decent. I've already got the Eternal one sitting up at, Epic +3. So trying to go and get one of these and switching over, I just don't know. I don't think it's anything that really thrills me at all. But if you guys have this emblem and you're finding that it's good, let us know in the comments below. Really curious to know how things are going with the Art of Void, because to be honest with you, I don't feel like spending and investing all the money into this company in order to get these, things that I already have Eternals and everything else sitting pretty much all red. Just need a couple of them to get the other ones up there, but it just doesn't seem worthwhile, and I don't think they're as good as they are until you get them to that legend rarity. Now back to the actual game here. When I was going through, my main priority was getting this Void Power Evo'd. Get it as fast as I could. Obviously, drones, that's another high priority too, but I kind of see this as more of an AoE type weapon, more like the Light Chaser, so I'm going to build those things like the Destroyer, even Guardian. I love getting that. I didn't get it till pretty late inside this, but we got that. Lightning Emitter, the drill. I would have loved to evo the drill, but I was trying to chase down the Guardian itself for some reason. I don't know. Wasn't really the smartest move, but I really probably should have focused on the drill over it just because it seems to be more single target, especially with the evo. And rocket, I've been really loving the rocket on things. It seems to be doing pretty decent for me. Numbers seem to be pretty average with the other ones, but it seems to help out. So that's what we're mainly going for on it. I did grab the running shoes. I was thinking about the soccer ball, but didn't end up grabbing it. I know a lot of people have changed my opinion on the soccer ball, but I'm still not really using it as much because I don't have the tech part equipped for it. I'd rather go for something like the lightning emitter, drones, and obviously the drill. I don't think I have it at epic rarity yet either. So that's a little bit of a play in there too. So maybe once I get the tech part to epic, then we might slap it on. But in the meantime, that's kind of just the way I've been rolling. And it's pretty consistent with the other videos that I've been making. Now, hopefully you guys know by now, because I mean, come on, it's chapter 66. And just to say it once again, this is a typical 15-minute board, meaning that bosses come at 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then the elites, I believe, is 2 minutes, 9 minutes, 11 minutes, 12 minutes, and 13 minutes. But that 6-minute mark right there, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, that was a really great time to farm those, I don't know, call them potato looking dudes. They seem to drop pretty good biofuel between blue and gold ones coming out. This point right here, I hate it in the game when you're getting blues and you're getting golds and then you just get bombarded with a whole bunch of green. Like, I'm annoyed by it. I think once you start getting those higher level biofuels out there, it should stay there. It really shouldn't be dropping back down. But hey, I get it, you know, is what it is. But it's just something that kind of just irks me and just makes me hate playing a little bit, to be honest with you. So if you see me ever just kind of like start playing curiously, it's like, oh great, there's greens out there. But I still will try to chase down those blues and chase down those yellows. For some reason, when I was playing this at about the 13, 12 minute mark, what do you want to call it, I was getting a ton of bombs, a ton of magnets, and there's so much going on the screen. I don't know if the light chaser, how well it would have handled up on this, because you'll see once we get there. But the void power really seemed to come through, and I'm surprised it wasn't really too difficult or bad. Now, as far as the little robot guys, you see their little gray kind of mech looking things, they're not on right now, but when they did come out and they did get sucked into the void power circle, I could feel them doing damage to me. Although they weren't doing a lot, it wasn't hurt my meter or something, but just something to keep in mind, that that is the tankier enemy inside there. So we do have the elite right here. We're just going to kind of try to work them away. You know, really can't see anything that's going on, so I'm just kind of like feeling it out a little bit, saying, okay, I think he's right there. Luckily, having this thing evil, it is pushing those bubbles out, which is then pushing them back. But you can see we dropped them not too bad at all. Now, I will say that finally, after having that little cold that starts to see where I'm finally feeling better. I had a couple of weekends, got caught up on the sleep. I did lose my smell during the period of it, and there was a point where I came into the room and my wife's like, "You smell really bad. You need to go shower." And I was just like, I don't smell anything, which wasn't the nicest thing to do. But after yelling at me a couple times, I finally went and showered. I mean, I was showering every day, but you know, you play video games, you get a little sweaty, you get a little gross sometimes. I get really sweaty when I'm playing video games. I mean, I'm full bore into it like it's a competitive sport on it. Not that I'm running around or anything, but that was just another little funny thing I thought about. But this was the new boss that I found right here. This is the MG Tyrant. He is going to do that jump thing. He did wipe me out a couple of times. The big thing was that kind of got me is he is going to shoot out right there. And I wasn't thinking about the bounce on him, so it did take me, I think, like down to like half hit points one time. But really wasn't anything to, you know, that I was really knowing that was coming. But you see the jump, you see the dash, and then obviously the shots there. And those things hurt pretty good, but you can see this was probably the hardest boss out of them all. I don't know if that's because I didn't know what I was going to be running into, but just something to keep in mind. Know those abilities. I guess if you do see him shoot, staying further away, staying towards the wall, that could help with that, you know, the bounce off, make it a little less likely them hitting you. But either way, we beat him and dropped him. Now, so we got bears here, which, you know, as always, bears are a huge pain. Like I said, in I think it was 63 that we had the bears. I was struggling with both the light chaser and the kunai on it, but I did have a lot of people tell me that the void power was great for going up against these things. So I don't know if that's why this is going so easy. They're not really too bad right now, but eventually we're going to get a whole bunch of green pigs that come out. We're going to get bears that come out, throwing a lead in there too, and it gets pretty insane. I mean, I had no idea where I was on the screen because there was just so much stuff going on. Now, a couple of things that I'm thinking about doing coming into the channel itself is, number one, I'm thinking about switching from doing my editing on my phone to actually on the computer. I've done some editing before on it using DaVinci Resolve, but it's ever since I started, and the reason why I got my MacBook Pro was because I wanted to get Final Cut Pro, which is a pretty good editing software. It's equivalent to Adobe. You don't really see a lot of people making movies using it, although people have used it. So it is a pretty good, you know, quality stuff out there. I mean, the format of my videos isn't going to change. You're still going to get the, you know, same quality garbage that you've been getting this whole time. But it might be a little bit cleaner, might be a little bit more crisp. I just, it's going to be $300 for the software, and then I'll have to get, a USB mic because my other one is a DSLR that I have. Right now, I'm just talking into my phone. This is the quality that you get out of an iPhone. I think this is iPhone 13 or iPhone 12 Pro is what I'm using, not the Max. Didn't need a screen that big. I still wanted to fit it in my pocket. But that is one goal. It's not going to probably happen right away, but I either got to decide if I'm going to clean up my MacBook. It's been, probably 3 years of me having this thing, so I might just go out, spend $2,000 on a new computer, start off fresh, get things a little bit crisper. But then we're talking $300 for the Final Cut. We're talking $2,000 for a laptop. I'm going to have to buy another microphone. So it is a goal. I'm just kind of waiting to see how tax season goes and see how much I get charged for, if I have to give money or if I have to, or if I'm receiving money. But either way, that's going to be one thing. The other thing I keep on thinking too is just playing more games. Originally, when my channel first started, one of the things that got me was Archero. That's how I got into this whole thing with, playing Survivor.io and Pumball and Kinja Run. I just found Archero in the App Store, and I'm thinking about maybe trying that with some other games just to test them out and see, and just make videos on that of, hey, here's a new game, let's see how it is. But I don't really want to go in and, I used to kind of be like, oh man, this game is garbage, don't play this. I'm more thinking I want to go and highlight some of the games. And then the other thing I'm thinking of too is instead of just going and playing stuff in the App Store, maybe playing some indie games. I'm on Reddit looking through Android gameplay and even iOS, and just testing out some that, people we'd never even hear about. Things like, for example, my YouTube video, if I go and I make something on, let's say, Clash Royale or Clash of Clans, my video won't even pop up in the top results, even though I've got, almost 20,000, maybe closer to 19,000. But even though I have all those subscribers, my video will go up, and let's say it gets 300, 400 views in the first hour. Those people out there that'll get 2,000, 3,000 views in the first hour, well, their video gets bumped up, mine gets bumped down. So that's the same thing when it comes to creating apps. You get these guys that are just making these new apps, and they could be great games to play, but the fact that people aren't aware of them, they don't have the promotion, they might not even show up to you. So that's another thought I'm thinking is, should I just go and pick a random indie game that looks kind of fun and just test it out and bring it to everybody's attention? Just a thought on it, but let me know what you guys think about that. Just something I've been kind of popping in my head of what to do. But you see the craziness on the screen right here, and like I said, I don't know how well the Light Chaser's going to do. Maybe I have to go back through and just play this, or at least try it on the trials. I'm one away for the trial points on it to need to get my next 10 key evolution on it, so I really should go through and play them. But I just really hate trials, so I don't really play them that much, and nothing really is like, oh my god, I need to get that, the time where we got bigger projectiles, or even got increased attack, or even, monsters drop crates. Those are all important ones. Everything from this point on is just kind of like, okay, yeah, maybe, I do need 10% more experience. That could help out, but still, it's not a high priority on me. Now, I will say, because I'm rambling, you're not getting the actual good edits unless I go and trip over my tongue really bad, which something that people may never realize is when you're doing and recording over, there's times where, things just get all mumble jumbled up and you're just like, blah, 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 and it just sounds ridiculous. I'll actually catch myself cracking up when I have to go through and play it back to try to cut it out. But if I'm not tripping over my tongue too much, then I'm not really going to go and edit it out. So this is what you guys get out of it right here. But we are down to the last 15 seconds. And what you will find is we're going to have the kind of wolf guy, although there was one kind of key difference on it, which you'll see once it comes to it there. But the one that he'll go and he'll dash, he'll jump, and then in the other chapter we saw him, he would go and bring a whole bunch of wolves that would kind of start from the bottom left of the screen up to the top right. Well, instead, it's kind of, I don't know what you call them. It kind of looks like a dreidel, I guess I would do. Kind of the insect-looking things. But the weird thing is they will go and they'll vanish in and vanish out. I wasn't about to go and see if I can get the damage. There they are right there. I was thinking like, oh, I wonder if I could run through these things when they dash out. But the fact that we died twice on that second boss, I was like, no, we're just going to play it safe. And you can see, it is dropping pretty quick. I don't know if that's the destroyer or not, but it's pretty easy, not really stressful. So second boss, that's one to worry about, but we completed it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to join the Discord, like, subscribe, and remember, I pick my butt.